X-Files Professor Green reveals the truth behind split from ex-fiance as he opens up on bond with ex-wife Millie Mackintosh. The lullaby singer, who signed up for E4's Celebs Go Dating in a bid to find love again, said he often jumped headfirst into relationships because it was passionate and intense, but then later became resentful. Professor Green, real name Stephen Manderson, was married to Made in Chelsea star Millie Mackintosh from 2013 to 2016. He later had a relationship with actress Karima McAdams, with whom he shares a son, before they split in 2023. As of late 2025, the singer revealed he was back in touch with ex-wife Millie, just months after her split from husband Hugo Taylor. Speaking exclusively to The Sun, the rapper explained what went wrong in his past relationships that led to the breakdown. He said, "I hope after the lessons learnt throughout this process, whatever happens in the future I can find my way through without letting things progress to a point where a line has to be drawn. I think we ignore things in the beginning, especially if there's that intensity in chemistry. When you start to understand what that stimulus is and what you think is attractive or passionate, you can park it and you can see things you would otherwise ignore and recognize your own projections, because you're seeing someone you want and they're not responsible for that. I think that's difficult because you go through that initial intensity and if that progress, all of a sudden you're resentful of someone for literally being themselves because you've ignored who they are. I would quite like to progress in a way that's patient enough that you don't need to get to a place where a line being drawn, it's just not making things messy. Not going into things so quickly that you bypass things you would have otherwise noticed. I've always been both feet, head first. That's good in the studio, that commitment to work, that sort of passion, feeling and intensity, but I don't think it's done me well everywhere. And I have to take accountability for myself in that because for me to become resentful along the way because someone can't meet me. But no one owes anything to anyone bar themselves." The hitmaker, who was engaged to Karima in 2021, before splitting after 5 years together, said the healing process has been hard. He shared, "It's not the easiest process to heal again. Also things are different, I don't drink, things are in the harsh light of day, it's been very sobering. And really it's the first time I've explored really what my neurological disposition has to do with how I present. Things have occurred in relationships in the past and coming out of this, I've definitely got some phone calls to make to previous parties. I've got a much greater understanding than I had at the beginning of this process and to come out of this with that, I'm happy with that." Pro Green also spoke about his biggest red flags that would put an instant turn off. Someone who argues. If someone who wants to argue for the sake of arguing is a red flag or just wants to argue to win and not about resolve, then I don't see the point, he said. Being able to disagree and agree is a forgotten art and that's a shame. The star admitted that he and ex-wife Millie, 36, are on good terms and share a special kind of bond due their recent ADHD diagnoses. He said, me and Millie, spoke when she was releasing a book about her being sober and we spoke around that because I was mentioned in the book and she just wanted me to know that it was coming out and it was a really respectful thing to do. It was very cordial, it was over email. We laughed a little bit going, "You're ADHD, me too." In February, it was reported that Millie and husband Hugo have split following 7 years of marriage. Appearing on Jamie Lang's Great Company podcast in October, he dubbed Millie "beautiful," while revealing that the pair have bonded over both being diagnosed with ADHD in recent years. "It was really recently that we spoke actually about our mutual diagnosis and, our kids," said the music star, 42. He added that the pair were toxic for one another at the time of their marriage, describing it as a trauma bond. Back in October, a source told The Sun Millie and her ex were on good terms, sharing, "They have started speaking again, and they are on better terms than they have been in a decade. Both being parents has played a huge part, and they have both grown up a lot. They have also both given up booze, which was a huge issue when they were together." Millie shares 2 daughters with Hugo, Sienna and Aurelia. Professor Green has been single since he split from fiancée Karima in 2024 after welcoming son Slimane 3 years prior.